Brianna,
Hmm.
I have an OnlyFans update for you. I can't remember if I already told this story or even mentioned this in previous episodes, but I was like,
hang on. OnlyFans,
Yeah.
what?
an OnlyFans, yeah. The guy I met at the airport.
Why am I blanking?
Did I tell Nicole about this when she was on the show? Or I don't
You
know.
had to tell Nicole, because I
Okay.
have no recollection.
All right. So I know this episode's going to do well in numbers because of the topic, because we're talking about how Taylor Swift uses astrology. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome. Probably didn't see the surprise bonus episode dropping today or expect it, unless, of course, you follow me on my stories and whatnot. But I think I will have to share my OnlyFans update on a different episode.
Hang on, you better tell me afterwards, because
I'll
you
tell you
can't just
afterwards.
drop that bomb and then not say anything.
I'll tell you afterwards for sure.
Also,
But
I think
anyways,
Gabby's more of a Swiftie than I am.
I think I'm a Swiftie. That's
I think Gabby's a
literally
Swiftie.
That's literally the first note that I wrote down for this 5 hours of research episode. Literally, it took me 5 hours, but I was like, no, I am hellbent on proving these patterns, pattern recognition. But anyways, do you want to do a quick little mini intro update before we really get into it? Because this one's going to be a minute.
That's fine. Hi guys, it's Brianna. I'm nasally right now, so I'm sorry. I'm just getting over a cold. Seems as though not neuro took me out, but just a common cold took me out. Welcome to your 30s. It sucks.
But you've also been sicker than when you had, like, for longer than when you had noro.
I know, I have been, and it's been awful. And Tyler said, he was like, you've been sick more down here than you were up in Oregon. And I knew it was going to happen. My kid got sick. I had to sleep with him in his room for 2 days. And of course, he wakes up in the middle of the night and just sneezes in my face. And I'm like, well, here we go. I'm going to get sick. So I was out for like a week. I went home one day, and I kid you not, I fell asleep and I didn't wake up until the following morning.
Yeah, my brain goes to like, well, she's bringing up her immunity, but then she's also like, what's the spiritual meaning for this? Because every sickness has a spiritual reason associated with it typically. But yeah, just it's unfortunate you've been sick for over a week.
Oh well. I didn't even lose any weight from it either, because I couldn't eat either. This is stupid. Dumb.
Yeah, the way that our bodies work, just because we have so much muscle, we literally have to eat like perfectly, like protein, water, sleep, all the things. But once it comes off, whew, we look good.
Mm-hmm. It's a blessing and a curse. We have a lot of muscle, but damn, is it hard to lose weight.
It's the fat that's not hard to lose. The muscle's not hard to put on at all.
No, muscle's so easy for us to put on, and thank you, heaven, because people would fight for that.
Yeah, I think it's mesomorphic body types that we have. But anyways, okay, this one's going to be a minute. So are you ready to get into it? Are you excited?
I got my soda. Let's go. I have more caffeine. Let's go.
Okay, Brianna, do you know who Hayley Williams is?
Yeah, the singer.
Okay, she's, yes, the Paramore from, the head singer from Paramore. And her and Taylor are friends. And she was on the Speak Now TV version. But they like came up with music together. But I was just thinking that Hayley Williams is who Taylor Swift she thinks she is, because Taylor Swift. What? I'm like hearing myself talk, you guys. Yeah, this makes sense. Hayley Williams is who Taylor Swift thinks she is, because Taylor Swift is a capitalism machine. Yep, that's what I'm trying to say. And you know what? The woman knows how to make money, because if you think about it, she literally repurposes, like with her different album variants, like different income streams, like multiple income streams with what she's already kind of offering. They're just like different covers. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I'm catching what you're putting down.
Yeah, and it's kind of like she was quite literally born to do this, because her dad, I forget which house it is, which financial acquisition company, I guess, if you will, owns it, or is it? But her dad owns 5% of, I want to say, Merrill Lynch. And then in my 5 hours of research, I recognized that her mom was also the head of marketing at the company that her dad and her met. Yeah, her dad and her met at. And I think that's really interesting, because like the woman knows how to make money.
That's for damn sure. She definitely knows how to make money.
And honestly, I think it's in her chart, and we're going to get into that. But what I wanted to say is, there's this whole like concept online. It's like, does Taylor Swift use astrology? And I was like, yeah, she does. But also, Taylor Swift does not have the astrologer, because she is the astrologer. She's an astrologer. She is. There's no fucking way around it.
Do you think so?
Totally. And I think that she's just like the perfect quintessential example of the famous JP Morgan quote, which is millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do. And I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So also, I just want to say I'm very excited for The Life of a Showgirl because I feel like this is the ovulation album. And can we just agree, as outsiders looking in, that Taylor Swift is probably having the best sex of her life?
I think I told you and Nicole this a long time ago. I was like, oh, she was with boys before, but she's with a man now. Like, she's with a man.
She's quite literally getting picked up and tossed around.
Good for her. It's great.
Nasty. She getting nasty.
Hey, you can tell she's in a good mood.
Okay, so I met up with our girl Chelsea a couple weeks ago. Shout out to my girl Chelsea. I'm pretty sure. Well, yeah, we're dropping this on the day that The Life of a Showgirl drops, which is why it's like a whole bonus episode. Anyways, Chelsea's getting married on the 15th. Shout out. And she's like, I feel like she's like putting like the color of the chakras together with all of her albums because they are different colors and they all kind of align with the seven main, there's more than seven, but like seven main chakras if you think about it. And if you think about this, orange, sacral, sexual, sex, creative energy, that aligns with the branding for this specific album.
Yeah, it's orange and teal, but have all of her albums lined up with the chakra colors?
Not perfectly, but they
have the colors.
Mm-hmm.
Is it all the colors of the rainbow?
It's getting to be, yeah.
Yeah,
it sure is. So, anyways, Brianna, what is her sun? I almost said it.
She's a Saggy, just like me.
She is a Sag. So when you, Brianna's like, you know, she's a horn dog because she's a Sag.
Obviously. She likes to party too. She likes to party.
She could drink. Mm-hmm. She can drink. She's also a Cancer moon, which is why she's so emotional. And the internet is out on this one. They believe that she's either a Scorpio or a Capricorn rising. I think she's a Scorpio rising. Personally, I feel like she is. And after doing all this research, I was like, oh, it could go either way, but I feel like she's a Scorpio rising.
I wonder if she's Virgo in her because she's so like meticulous about stuff.
Oh, you're gonna find out. So this whole episode is going to be me literally putting together and speaking to the main zodiacal signs that she works with based off of her album releases. And you're going to see that Virgo is one of them.
I can already tell. Like, I know things, guys.
It's like she's a claircognizant intuitive. But what I wanted to say is Miss Taylor Allison Swift, soon to be possibly Kelsey. And actually the right way to pronounce that is Kels, but everyone started saying Kelsey, so it's Kels. So damn, I think I am a Swiftie. Anyways,
Travis should take her last name. Travis Swift.
You know, he probably would. I feel like he would.
He's traditional, but I can also see him like, okay, I want to make my girl happy. He hyphenates it.
Hyphenates, yeah. So she supposedly was born at 5:17 a.m. on December 13th, 1989, in West Reading, Pennsylvania. But I don't think she's ever going to confirm or share her birth time unless it's to be a distraction, much like Beyonce just recently released it on the day when Mars went direct in Leo, because she has a Mars in Leo, and that was a deflection from everything that she has going on with the whole Diddy trial. And I literally just saw something post about, or like a meme or like a news report, that the Carters are moving to Europe. But honestly,
I saw that too.
They're moving to Europe because they're fucking involved with the whole Diddy trial, and that's a distraction. Period.
Did she really release her birth time? Like, yeah, she personally did?
She put it in her artwork. Yeah, she did. Beyonce also uses an astrologer, and she's also very familiar with astrology because I know her astrologers. So.
But I also heard that she uses like dark astrology.
Yeah, she's no. She's a high dark witch. Yikes. We don't fuck with Beyonce around here.
Nope.
Anyways, okay, so everyone's always like, is Taylor Swift psychic? Yes, she is highly psychic because I think she's personally like, I think she's clairaudient. So there's a video of her in high school around the ages of like, or around the years, I'm sorry, of 2006 to 2008, somewhere in there. And a lot of these have been wiped from the internet, but she describes her process of how like songs come to her. And she's like, oh, I hear them clearly in my head. Like it's almost like it drops in. And I was studying that. I was like, oh, that's clairaudience. Like, just having been very familiar with how the different clairs work, I was like, oh, she's a knower and she's a hearer. So I'm pretty sure she's clairaudient. And another thing that I've noticed of her is that every 2 years, it seems to be a pattern of hers. I mean, it makes sense because artists tour the albums after they're released, and then you have like a year downtime to like create and just recoup and all the things. But I really want to say that I think she's also paying attention to the dates because in the podcast that she did with her now fiance and soon to be brother in law, she explicitly talks about words and uses words like esoteric. And she speaks out with her about her fascination with numerology. And in some of her songs, she's talking about like twin flames and like blood moon lit and just the skies and whatever. I really feel like this woman is into the occult.
She's in a cult or she's created a cult? Because both.
Into a cult, like OCCULT.
Oh.
But I mean, she has created a cult. So
Swifties. They're diehards, guys.
dude,
Are
like
diehards. They'll go for your throat.
literally. So I also think it's really interesting because she got engaged to Travis on August 10th of this year. And that is when Venus and Jupiter were conjunct in Cancer. Like that whole like 5-day time frame in this year, alongside the eclipses that we're currently in right now at time of recording in the month of September of 2025. It almost kind of feels like, so anytime Venus and Jupiter come together, that's like a marriage transit. And she has a natal Jupiter in Cancer in her chart. And because she also has a Cancer moon, this just all of that together with her chart feels very fated. And the fact that she got engaged in that like 5-day time frame of the most heightened astrology aside from the eclipses this year just makes me feel like, yes, she had a past life with Joe Alwyn. They were married in a past life, but I feel like Travis was just supposed to be it for her in this lifetime.
Yeah, I think so. She manifested him from the very beginning.
I also posted this 2 years ago when they first started dating. I was like, they're going to get married because they have the synastry in their birth charts.
Did I not tell you that Sag and Libras, they're just one of my besties is a Libra, and I love that girl to death, and her and I just vibe.
Do you think you would vibe with Taylor Swift Scorpio rising though? Because you don't really like Scorpios. Because she's a Sag.
Like I said, there's one Scorpio that I love.
Shout out Amara.
I love her to death. I always tell her, I was like, you're the one Scorpio. You're the anomaly?
Yeah. Yeah. And her episode with us drops literally this coming Tuesday. So shout out to our fave Scorpio. She also is an Aquarius rising. So there's a little bit of that energy that differentiates her from like being like a Scorpio. But yeah, I just feel like, well, according to Anna, shout out Anna, the host of the Soul Ecosystem podcast, Taylor has what's called the revenge program in her cosmic makeup, which means she holds people accountable for the bad things that they do specifically to her. And that makes a lot of sense because Scooter Braun pretty much, like, she went after him with the whole re-recordings.
Yeah. I mean, those are her songs. She deserves them. And I'm glad she got them.
Yep. So anyways, are you ready to get into the zodiacal astrological phenomena that is the release dates
I thought Taylor Swift's already getting into this. We're 15 minutes in, Gabby.
Okay, this was just like the build up. No, this is
okay.
This is the build up before you know what I fucking did? Literally, this is how I came together with this episode. So what I did is I looked at all of the astrology of every single drop date that she has had an album, including like the OGs and the re-releases. And what I've surmised is that I'm pretty sure the girl started using astrology seriously somewhere between Red and 1989, the original versions. Because then after that, everything really seems to be even more planned out, methodical, etc. So I thought that was really interesting. So anyways, okay, we'll start and you'll start to see it. So the first couple album date drops, I didn't really look at too seriously, but after like say 2012, 2014, that's when I was like, okay, let's look at these because that's when Red in 1989 came through. All right, so Taylor Swift debut album. And Brandon, you know what you should actually do? This is actually quite fun. You have pen and paper in front of you.
No. Where's a pen?
They're right in front of you.
No.
In the white little baggie.
Oh, you actually left me pens this time. Okay.
I did. Yeah, I did. Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
You're so welcome.
Okay, what am I doing?
Okay, you're going to write the big three each time I speak to them. And you're going to keep track of how many times I say Scorpio, Leo, etc.
Yay. Hang on. Keep talking while I prepare myself.
Okay, well, Taylor Swift, the debut album. October 24th, 2006. 2006. Okay, actually, now that I'm speaking to this, again, I was looking for these Easter eggs. Do you think she's actually doing the Super Bowl? I feel like she was kind of alluding to it.
I want to say she dropped Easter eggs and that like are too good to be true type of thing with the podcast. So, I mean, if she does, it's like we knew.
So 2006, next year is 2026. In the podcast episode, she said something about like 18 months at time of drop. So like when you look at 18 months from the time of the podcast drop, that actually takes her to her birthday in December of 2026, which is a full 20 years. So I think what she's going to do is she'll drop this one. I mean, it's hard to tell with the girl because she's like, if she were a serial killer, she would be unstoppable because of how her brain works. And I think that's because she has a Capricorn stellium in her second house.
Don't they say a lot of serial killers are Sagittarius?
It's actually Virgo, Pisces. Yeah.
I'm a Sag Virgo. Watch out, guys.
Oh, yeah, literally. So anyways, I was just like, I wonder if she would drop her 13th album in her 20th year around her birthday in 2026 and then just like dip out because she's going to have babies and then just kind of like move into directing and all the things, which we know she's going to do.
I mean, I can see that happening.
Yeah, like she does her Super Bowl and then she does that and then she's like, okay, just dominated the world for the last 4 years. See ya.
Yeah, true. I can see that happening actually now that we talk about that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm prepared.
Ready?
Yep.
Debut album, 10/24/2006. Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, Leo Rising. Also, what I want to say is the way that you put charts together, so I did it for the drop, the day that it was literally released to the public, and obviously different times are going to be applicable based off of just like where you are in the world. Every single chart that I looked at was the day of the album drop. It was set to midnight and it was set to Los Angeles. So that's where the consistency came forth. But you'll start to see a pattern that the girl really likes Scorpio season. So I'm just like, oh, like she's actually utilizing this in her best interest because when you're creating, it's called electional astrology. When you're creating an ideal date or looking for an ideal date to cast a chart for that to serve you, which for example, like I did this when I started my business, I made sure that my business's chart answered to my specific chart. And when you understand that Miss Taylor Swift, if she is in fact a Scorpio rising, that means that she has either Leo or Virgo in her 10th house, which is her midheaven. And you'll start to see the patterns where like, oh, there's consistency that she's using Scorpio and Leo and or Virgo for her drop dates because they serve her career, which is like you're always looking to work with either the 10th house for drop dates, and depending on your intention, if it's like money, then you're looking to see what's happening in your second house and how that's affected, and then and or your 6th house, which is like another one to look for, which is your day-to-day job, your job in general. But the girl was very intentional with each one of these dates in general, especially after like 1989 OG album.
Shameless plug, Gabby can also help you launch dates too.
Oh, yeah.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Yep, everything we do has an intentional date. Okay, so then Fearless. Are you ready?
Yep.
November 11th, 2008. Again, 2-year period. Scorpio Sun, Aries Moon, Leo Rising. Also,
wait, say that again. You said that too fast.
Scorpio
Fearless,
Sun.
when was it?
November 11th,
Okay.
2008. Scorpio Sun, Aries Moon, Leo Rising.
So 11/11 was when it dropped.
11/11, but also back to that Scorpio Sun. And then like the Aries, which is, they're both ruled by Mars, Scorpio and Aries. And again, Leo Rising.
Yeah, that's 2 in a row. That's Leo Rising.
We got more, honey.
Oh, great.
Okay. Speak now.
Oh?
October 25th, 2010. Scorpio Sun, Taurus Moon, Leo Rising. Again, every 2 years. So she's a Cancer moon. This is actually something that my teacher told me. Shout out to Anne Orderly. I wanted her on the podcast, but it just never happened. She's like, you're a Cancer Sun every 2 years because you're ruled by the moon, and the moon changes sign every 2 to 3 days. It's the fastest moving planet body, celestial body, actually is the best way to refer to it, in the sky. So your life is going to look different every 2 to 3 years. And it's so true. And think about it. Taylor Swift's life looks different every 2 to 3 years. And it's because she's a Cancer moon. That can be confirmed, actually. She's definitely a Cancer moon. Okay. Then we have the Red album. Are you ready? October 22nd, 2012. Again, the 2-year pattern. Libra Sun, Aquarius Moon, Cancer Rising. So that's a little bit different.
That one's definitely different.
Okay. Then this is where I'm like, okay, I think the girl's starting to really intentionally use astrology beginning with 1989. Not necessarily the drop dates, but more like the big 3 of the drop dates. Scorpio Sun, Sag Moon, Leo Rising. What was really interesting, this is when I started analyzing the charts. So this is when we're going to get into the details. On this drop date, Jupiter was transitioning her 10th house. It was transiting her 10th house, sorry. Anytime Jupiter is moving through one of the houses in your chart, that's essentially going to be blessings and abundance. Jupiter is her ruling planet as a Sagittarius Sun. So this was a great, basically like transit to be having. And the moon was also conjunct her sun at the time of this specific drop date, which is also like a really good transit to look for in electional astrology. And for her, I thought that this was really interesting that she dropped on this date because those were solid placements to have in an electional chart, because 1989 was one of her best albums.
I was going to say that one was probably like one of my favorite because it had that like such dance style to it.
The next one, I think, 1989, I think, is going to parallel what we're going to get with the album of Life of a Showgirl.
Well, yeah, that's what Travis talked about on the podcast. He was like, it's very much so dance style, like 1989. Like, that's the one that made me want to, like, dance and move my ass, pretty much.
Totally. And this was around the time in which she's not that yet there, but she's going into her Saturn return in the years to come. And it's interesting because around this time is when, was it 2014, 15, 16? That was when the whole Kanye thing happened. And then what she purposely did, and you'll see Beyonce and her do this quite often. What they'll do with SEO is, so she did The Life of a Showgirl, and Kanye West had dropped The Life of Pablo. So because she's going to have so much traction for The Life of a Showgirl, when you put that into a Google search, she's going to basically like clear out any,
wipe him out.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same idea with the whole conspiracy theory around Frozen, the movie Frozen, because there's this whole thought that they froze Walt Disney's body and they were tired of those searches on the internet. So they created a movie called Frozen Disney, and that again wipes out the whole Walt Disney body frozen search.
This world's wild.
It's crazy when you really look at it, like how it works.
It's wild.
All right. Reputation.
We're in a simulation here, guys.
We are. No, we really are. And that is why it's like you create and you manifest based off of your internal world. And it's so true. I recently had a client, without speaking too much and going into details because I think she's going to listen to this and I want to honor her privacy. But she was basically like, it's really challenging for me to date. And I keep seeing like all the men around me, friends, coworkers, all the things, like I can't trust them because, I feel like, I see that they're cheating, right? But she's also mirroring back a wound within herself because her dad cheated on her mom and her previous boyfriend cheated on her. So it's like if you don't get to the root of it, you're going to see it and it's going to constantly be mirrored back to you. And that just goes, and it's a universal law. We did a couple episodes on that, so scroll back in our queue and listen to those. But what I wanted to say about that is that it really just speaks to the whole concept that you are the creator of your reality, and that's why you want to be energetically clear. And shameless plug, this is where we're going in my one-to-one sessions called Emergence for the one-to-one coaching containers, because it's really going to be clear, and we're getting down to the different layers in which you're manifesting from and getting clear on like where you're manifesting from and which of those layers are really driving this car.
Okay.
Okay, reputation. Ready? November.
Yep.
November 10th, 2017. So this is the first one where she's had like a 3-year hiatus. Before it's been every 2 years, right? And this is a Scorpio Sun, Leo Moon, Leo Rising.
Love me my Leos.
You know, Scorpio and Leo, though, it's kind of a toxic combination.
That's such a toxic combination. It's almost as bad as Scorpio and Gemini.
Like, oh, I know someone with this combination. They're big three, and we didn't get along. And I can get along with Scorpios. I used to work with her at the...
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Moon is in Leo. Again, this is working with her midheaven. The moon was transiting her 10th house. So that's also like a good transit to consider. When you're looking at an electional chart, you always want to make sure that the moon, that's the first celestial body that you're looking at that's going to be in a good position. So oftentimes you really don't ever want it in the position of Scorpio or in the sign of Scorpio because it's considered to be in its fall. But she had the moon in Leo and that was working with her 10th house of career because it's in her midheaven, which is what the 10th house is called. It starts off with the midheaven. The moon is at 11 degrees at this time of drop, which is also an auspicious number. So the degree placements that planets are at are like you want to see what they're at because some of them have a little bit more of an impactful value. And the north node, the node of fate, is in Leo and it's conjunct her south node in Leo. So her south node in Leo basically implies that she was famous in a past life. And that's why she's like, it's the fame, like she handles it so easily. But the drop of this was very auspicious. So the fact that she's quite literally like, what, how many albums is that so far, Brandon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 5 albums that she's dropped in fucking Scorpio season?
Yeah. There's only been one that hasn't, and that was Red.
So far.
True.
The next one, Lover. August 24th, 2019, Virgo season, baby. Virgo Sun, Gemini Moon, Gemini Rising. I think this was interesting because she dropped this on the first day of Virgo season. And again, working with her 10th house of career, her midheaven. It's either in Virgo and or Leo. So Jupiter was in Sagittarius at this time in 2019. And Moon was in Gemini, answering to Mercury in her 10th house of career. So you're also looking to see like which planetary body is ruling over the sign in which the moon is in. So the moon was in Gemini and it was answering to the Mercury placement in her 10th house of career. So you don't have to worry about the technicalities. Just know that there's a lot of synchronicities. That's the word I'm looking for.
I think she says that in the podcast too. Or
What does she
something
say?
along the lines about synchronicities.
Synchronicity. Oh, the invisible string. That was pretty much all it's about. Oh, that makes me want pasta. I don't know why, because I feel like one of her favorite songs that she talks about, or the favorite places that she talks about, is an Italian restaurant, and I want pasta. Okay.
You are a carb queen.
I'm a carb hoe. All right, next one. Folklore. July 24th, 2020. Okay, 2020. That was when the world was dark. Leo Sun, Virgo Moon, Aries Rising. Again, the Virgo and the Leo. So, life at this time was not the best.
It was a blur.
But she made it work, and she made it work for herself, honestly, because she was supposed to tour the Lover album at this time. And they say, according to Halsey, who was the other woman, who I think is, okay, on the Folklore album, actually, we're going to take it back. There's this song called Betty, and I'm pretty sure Betty is Halsey, and Halsey was the other girl she was referring to dating Maddie Healy, who we now know the Tortured Poets Department is about. And Halsey said she dropped this album in a time where it's not profitable to drop music because, again, no one was touring. So I think it's cool that they didn't have beef, even though they were sleeping with the same dude. Maybe at different times. But also Matty Healy, I don't get it. I
don't even know who that is.
He's the head singer of the 1975, and back in the day, when I was friends with the girl that ditched me in Vegas on my 21st birthday trip, the one that I told you about that took 2 hours to tell you the story on the way back from Burbank Airport where you picked me up. Anyways, I was supposed to go to that concert, and instead I went to another band. But anyways, she was there watching. It was the same night in LA. This was back like over 10 years ago, well over 10 years ago. And Taylor Swift was there watching Matty Healy play. And I could have gone to that. That's the one I wanted to go to, but I ended up going to Imagine Dragons. That's what I went. And they were playing the same night. Random thought and fact.
That is very random.
So random, the fact that I remember that in detail. Like, well over 10 years, lady. Yeah. So, okay, folklore. Again, all of these placements at the time of this release, that July, were in her 10th house. Both the moon and the sun were sitting there at 11 degrees in Cancer. So 11 is actually like a fame number in astrology, as is the number 5. And 5, 11, there are other numbers. 0, 1, and 29 all have different types of weight in astrology. But I think it's really interesting that a lot of these planetary placements throughout the course of her album drop dates had 11. Like planets were sitting at the degree 11. So, yeah. Then we have the step sibling, ugly child, whatever, redheaded stepchild. Is that what the phrase is? That is,
or the black sheep, one of the two, whatever.
Yeah. Well, they have Evermore. Evermore dropped in December of that year, December 11th, 2020. And that one is a Sag Sun, Scorpio moon, Virgo rising. I was really surprised by the Scorpio moon combination.
Yeah.
But I do think it's interesting that she's still utilizing Scorpio in some capacity. So, yeah, the fact that this was actually her first Sag drop, too. Like, she hasn't had an album that has a Sag Sun. Brianna goes through her list.
I'm looking at my list right now. Yeah. I mean, there's a few, but...
Yeah. Anyways, okay. So, at this time, the sun and the south node of fate were conjunct. And again, the south node is fated energy. It's past life energy. So she's casting light on her past life energy, using that to her advantage. So the way in which you work with the south node in your chart, it's kind of like a placement that implies receiving. So you can get a lot from working with that energy. So the fact that she, tried to, I guess, drop an album in which, it wasn't an auspicious time to drop an album, but she was working with her chart to the best of her ability, was really interesting. Again, this was a surprise album. They say that the music industry wasn't profitable at this time, but yeah, I think Evermore is probably my least favorite album.
Here's the thing. Anything to do with the Swifties or with Taylor Swift, it's gonna make money no matter what.
Do you see how much money she generated for each of the countries that she went and visited?
Yeah. Like I'm saying, anything that woman is gonna do, she has people backing her. She's gonna make money.
I bet you that prenup is ironclad.
Oh my gosh. Ridiculous.
Okay, so then I get to the re-records, guys. I get to the re-records and I was like, I don't know about this one, but I want to preface this and say, I did see a lot on the Tickety Talk, and again, my 5 hours of research, where the amount of dates between the re-releases and then either like the previous release she had or the original drop date, like the number it added up to were significant in numerology. And it was really fun to like just kind of see all of that like marketing happen at the time in which it was dropping. So I feel like the re-record drop dates might be a stretch just because she was pushing them out and she was pushing them out in accordance with her Eras tour and so forth. So anyways, let's just share about what those dates are. So Fearless TV, Taylor's version, dropped on April 9th, 2021. This was an Aries Sun, Pisces moon, first Pisces moon, Scorpio rising.
Is that the first Scorpio rising too?
I think it might be, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the moon was in a bomb place. That's Pisces. So you want to make sure that the moon's in a good place. And again, she's also said she's a fan of numerology. So when you add up 4 and 9, April 9, that's 13. So I wonder if she wanted that in that makeup. So I think that was interesting. But I was like, this one might be a stretch. But I just felt like it was important to call out.
It has to be for the 13.
Yeah. Okay. Red TV. Back on that Scorpio shit. November 12th, 2021. Scorpio Sun, Pisces Moon, Leo Rising. Again, Scorpio and the Leo Rising making a nice relationship to her 10th house, Leo Midheaven. I think she's a Scorpio Rising, you guys. I really do.
Yeah, maybe.
Then we have Midnights, October 21st, 2022. That's Kim Kardashian's birthday, by the way. I'm pretty sure. We have a Libra Sun. I think this is the first Libra. Libra? Yeah.
I'm looking.
Libra Sun.
Red.
Libra? Okay.
You had me write it down, so obviously I'm right. Duh.
Libra Sun, Virgo Moon, Cancer Rising, first Cancer Rising. And what's interesting about this drop date is that Venus was conjunct the Sun. So besides the Moon, you want Venus to also be in a good place. And there was, again, it's called a Cazimi. And the Cazimi was conjunct her midheaven. And that's also like an ideal little placement to have, I suppose, for electional charts. But I just want to say, if you're paying attention to what we're putting down throughout each of these drop dates, I mean, and also if you're writing them down, that's also fun. Like Brianna's forced herself to do.
Forced me.
Forced herself to do. You'll see, like, there are patterns that are associated with each of her drop dates. So, again, Midnights, which I think was maybe one of her most successful, if not the most successful commercial albums that she's released. I think it's really interesting.
I think that might be.
I think Midnights was, yeah. Then after that, we get Speak Now TV, and that is July 7th, 2023. Also, just like the amount of time that like has gone by, I just feel like her release of Midnights was yesterday.
Honestly, I don't keep up with the drops. I'm not that much of a Swiftie, guys. I'm sorry.
I kind of love it, though. I kind of love it.
I'm really not much. Like, I enjoy the songs, but I don't classify myself as a Swiftie.
Which is your favorite album?
Ooh, probably 1989. Here's the thing. I can't start and stop an album, like, and not stop it on any of them. I'm skipping in between. Like, there's songs that I'll skip. Like, there's no album of hers where I'm like, I'll play the first track all the way to the last track straight through. Nope. That's also my ADHD, though. So
Paramore. We decided Paramore's a no-skip album.
I love Paramore.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'm a Midnights girly. I'm so basic.
Speaking of TV, Tyler which one his is, because Tyler's a Swiftie.
Tyler's a Swiftie.
Tyler's a Swiftie.
Speaking Now TV, July 7th, 2023. First Cancer Sun, Pisces Moon, Aries Rising. That's actually a really sweet combo. This one I thought was interesting. This is a very different, but I was like, oh, she thought about this one. She had to, especially if she's into astrology. This was a different like setup. So Mercury was at 22 degrees of Cancer. Mercury is the planet that represents communication, how you express yourself, how you receive information. Again, going back to that whole idea that certain numbers in astrology have different like levels of importance. Mercury at 22 degrees, specifically it's Mars actually, but 22 degrees is what's considered to be a world point. But 22 degrees is what's referred to as the kill or be killed degree. And I think it's interesting that she purposely released that date where Mercury was sitting at a world point, and the album she was releasing was called Speak Now. Mercury's all about speaking. So the fact that she had a Mercury themed album title dropping when it was sitting at a world point in the sky is really interesting.
That is kind of interesting now that I'm thinking about it. You're getting my brain to think right now.
Okay, I didn't want to really speak to this on this episode, but I think it's really interesting too, is that we recently, in at time of recording, it's been about a week now, there was a tragic passing in the United States of America, and Mars was sitting at 22 degrees of, I want to say Libra, which again, 22 degrees is the kill or be killed degree point. Mars also represents guns, and the passing that occurred under the transit with Mars sitting at the 22 degree kill or be killed point is really insane to me.
That is pretty wild. That's wild that there's a kill or be killed point. That's weird.
Guess who has Mercury at Cancer at 22 degrees?
Who?
Me!
Oh God, here we go, guys.
No, I do. My Mercury sits at 22 degrees of Cancer. It's really interesting. So, the next one. 1989. TV. October 27th, 2023. Scorpio Sun. Aries Moon. Leo Rising. I just feel like she set 1989 up for success.
Yeah, I mean, both of them kind of were set up.
I think it's also interesting too that this one had Mercury conjunct the Sun in Scorpio, and Venus was in Virgo. Again, that midheaven, the 10th house of career, of successful career points. So I feel like she definitely thought about this. Last two. The Tortured Poets Department, April 19th, 2024. Aries Sun, Virgo Moon, Sag Rising. This one, I was like, oh, this was a big fuck you to her ex, because it was literally released 1 year exactly after her breakup with Joe Alwyn, to the day that was reported, in which he supposedly cheated on her, either emotionally or literally. And it was the last day of Aries season, which makes it the anaretic degree point of 29. So again, Scorpio rising. Scorpio and Aries are both ruled by Mars. She's working with that Martian energy. And if you think about it, that fits her revenge program energy, because revenge, it's all about like strategic attack. And I feel like the woman's highly strategic, if you think about it.
That's an understatement.
Then finally, last but not least, The Life of a Showgirl, releasing today, time of episode drop, October 3rd, 2025. Libra Sun, Pisces Moon, back with that Pisces Moon, Cancer Rising. I was really, again, surprised by this Pisces Moon placement. She's had it a couple times with like at least 2 other album drops. And what's surprising about this one is that Jupiter is sitting at an exalted degree point in Cancer. And Uranus is also in Gemini at this time. And I don't know, I just kind of feel like she was working with it being the ovulation album, week of Travis's birthday, according to what she said on the podcast. Libra energy in general, no say. What did we learn in this observation, Brianna?
There's a lot of Scorpio.
There's a lot of Scorpio. Wait, can you count how many Scorpio Suns albums she has, since you wrote it down while I shared this other?
Oh, this is chicken shit. I can't reread this. I scribbled this. I doctor wrote this, so I can't reread this, guys.
Okay, but we can
usually I have very good penmanship, but not right now. No.
Can we just confirm that the lady likes to drop during Scorpio season? It's like well over 5. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of Leos too.
Again, Scorpio rising, Leo midheaven. I feel like that's just it. I really feel like she has that.
Yeah, maybe.
So, what did we learn in this observation? I think I'm a Swiftie.
Gabby is a Swiftie. Gabby is definitely a Swiftie.
I don't like, though, that she has said this too in one of her album lyrics, that she puts subconscious reprogramming. She hasn't used those words exactly, but she implies it. She's like, I put melodies in my lyrics for you to listen to and to keep listening to, which musicians are highly aware of. I actually read for a well-known artist at the beginning of this year, and I was like, listen, like, you're supposed to put subconscious reprogramming in your music. And you could just see in their eyes when I was saying that it was like clocking and registering. But, you know, Taylor Swift definitely does this. And I don't know if that's super ethical, because it's kind of just forces, unconsciously, if you will, people to keep listening to her music. Which is,
I mean, she has an army, so obviously it's working.
not just that, but also her brother is, he works with like the production houses like Disney and like, you know, I don't know, these movie houses to basically put her music into movies that are going to be targeted for children, younger children to watch. So she's targeting a new demographic. It's very smart.
Do you think Sabrina Carpenter is a little mini Taylor Swift?
I think she's learning a lot from her.
I would.
I want to know what happened between her and Olivia Rodrigo, because she's cool with Gracie, she's cool with Sabrina, she was cool with Olivia Rodrigo, but I think it's because Olivia can parallel Taylor's success. I don't know if she's ever going to reach those heights. Not saying that. I'm curious to see what her career is going to look like. But if you think about it, Sabrina's very sexualized, which Taylor's not really going to go there. She did go there when she was, 35, and she owned all her music, and it was like a fuck you for, in her words, being a geriatric pop star. But I think it's interesting too, because Gracie's a little bit more indie, but like Olivia Rodrigo, I mean, kind of the same path if you think about it.
I'm trying to think of a few songs of hers. Okay,
That are
I
about.
have a few. But also, Taylor went a little risque on The Life of a Showgirl, and props to you, girl. You look great.
She
You
looks
look fucking
phenomenal.
good.
I mean, she's going to be 36. She owns all her music. She didn't sexualize herself when she was younger. I mean, the woman, okay, I think we can confirm that everything she does is with intention, even if she doesn't use astrology.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I personally believe if she's not utilizing astrology, she's definitely using numerology, which, again, she has said multiple times in that podcast. And I think, you know, one of them, I mean, she said it. She said it on the podcast that she likes it. So, and she used the word esoteric in the title. What Travis was like, "You're so hot when you use big words." Anyways, yeah, I think she likes to release during Scorpio season, which we've said. She's a big fan of working with the Scorpio, Virgo, and all three fire sign energies. So again, Aries, Leo, and Sag, more Leo than anything else. Again, I think that's in her 10th house of career. I do think that she's working in some capacity to ensure that the sun or the moon, again, the sun mostly being in Scorpio and the moon mostly being in a really solid placement, are incorporated into her electional astrology drop dates. And she's leveraging all of that. So, yeah. What did you think, Brianna? I'm excited for The Life of a Showgirl. I'm sure by the time this drops, I'll already have listened to it.
Do you think she's already working on her next album?
I'm sure. She says she does everything 2 years in advance on Jimmy Fallon.
This is true.
She does. She's like, how soon is too soon? So I think she's doing that. I also think that she's thinking about babies. I think she's working on her first movie. Taylor Swift, if this ever reaches the likes of you, please send us free tickets to your next show. You know, she pays attention to all this stuff. So,
oh yeah, did you not hear her drop? She's like, yeah, I am watching you guys on accounts that you don't know that are me. I love
like,
that.
Sourdough.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think she's very smart.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
Anyways, that's what we have, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Brianna, did you enjoy?
I did. I did actually enjoy that. Still not a Swiftie. Hard Swiftie. I will classify myself as a mild Swiftie because I do enjoy her music and I enjoy her.
What's your favorite song?
Ooh, do you want to know which one just popped up in my head? Mm-hmm. Teardrops on My Guitar.
Oh, OG. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see what we have here. We're pulling from the Light Zeros deck. Ooh, The Fool. New beginnings. What is October going to bring for you? New beginnings. This across the board is just the forefront of any enterprise. New cycles, all the things. We love the Fool. We love the Fool. So this is the deck. Okay. Until next time, hope you enjoyed this bonus drop. You guys asked, I delivered. If you have other topics you would like for us to dive into, let us know.
Perfect. See you guys on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.